Obviously, we don't know the ins and outs of the EFF, but I once listened to an interview by Dr. Ndlozi. And Ndlozi said, when we found this organization, when we founded it, we looked among ourselves and we felt that a person was more like Steve Biko, a clear leader among us was Julius Malema. And Floyd says he had another group that he met with and unanimously decided that this man is not fit to lead the party. So
good morning, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Once again, welcome to South Africa Lately, a channel that discusses South African trending news. We do, however, grab here and there from international news. When it is trending enough to be brought here, please do understand that I'm not a politician. I do not have deep knowledge in politics. However, I am a South African citizen who's also a voter, and I do believe that my views count when it comes to political affairs of our gorgeous country. It is impossible for us to stay away from the news of Floyd, Shivambu and MK, because Floyd is the news of the moment and MKP is the newsmaker of almost every day. So please, guys, pardon us for the back and forth. So now, Sandile Swana said interesting things there. One of the things that he said Floyd is a scoundrel himself, and MKP, the president of MKP, is a scoundrel, and scoundrels left from the ANC and went into MK. So somehow one has to ask yourself if there is the truth on that, because of the accusations or maybe the allegations by Floyd that money is being taken out of the MK coffers every month, about 7 million rand, just to be squandered like that. And also, you see, the worst one is the bribery by the Moroccan government, the allegations of bribery by the Moroccan government to MKP, because they want to continue oppressing Western Sahara. You see, that one is tabooish, you see. But I want you to hear from Sandile Swana himself. But before we do that, I just want to talk about just a little bit about Floyd and Bushiri. You know, Floyd going there, he went there on his own capacity, according to me, because he wanted that money for his political party. They have a history with Bushiri of that friendship that they had when Bushiri was in South Africa. We do have photos of them. They had that sort of connection. So it makes sense that he went there for funding to get his own money to start his own political party. But now he was trying to hide behind former President Jacob Zuma. That's how I see it. But you are allowed to differ from my views in the comment section. And him saying that he has never used MKP money for traveling and whatnot when he was working with MKP, I find that is trying to say, I have always had money, so you cannot tell me that I went to Bushiri to get money. For me, there's substance there. There's something there, because there is no way you would risk it unnecessarily being paraded by Bushiri like that. You know the man is a fugitive. Him hiding behind the things that he was hiding behind, trying to say, no, he cannot be accused. He's not law enforcement. He's not part of law enforcement and whatnot. It's just hiding behind, smolanyana something. Anyway, guys, let me leave you watching what Sandile Swana there. I think there were valid points there, but I'm looking forward to reading your comments in the comment section. And if I get time, I'm going to respond. But if I don't, I'm certainly going to react to show that I appreciate your participation on my channel. So, guys, do have yourself a lovely weekend. I'll be seeing you in my next video.
And I'm going to stay with that in just a moment. But Prof. Matebesi, when you then look at the MK party, 7 secretary generals later, is this a trigger-happy organization, or are these teething problems, as has been described by some, to be expected for a party that describes itself as still new?
Yes, I cannot help to take over from Prof. Where Prof. Muswana left, to state that, if you've got when the environment is conducive, and we've got a leader that can one day wakes up and make a decision and no one will confront that leader. And if you have listened carefully to Floyd, he said he's got great respect for President Jacob Zuma, the president of MK. So actually what Floyd have done, Floyd has already resigned himself from MK, although he haven't done that officially, but he does not want to directly confront Jacob Zuma. So for me, it is definitely a party where an individual and those very close to him can take decisions, and in the so-called name of a democratic process, but where it to a large extent has to do with what the leader feels at that particular time. So and hence so many as secretary generals a couple of months later.
Mr. Swana, would you say the lessons he's learned go, as far as his decision now to do what we heard on the 16th of December before the MK party contested the elections, where the former president Jacob Zuma, now the leader of the MK party, said, I will not be voting for the ANC, but I will be supporting the MK party. I am not resigning as a member of the ANC. I will be ANC until I die.
Yes, we are back to square one. Zuma invented that concept of a dual membership. It is the most diabolical concept, highly questionable and dubious concept, that you can represent two parties that are in competition in the same election. Bear in mind that all of us now are thinking about 2026 election. In fact, there are even by-elections that are going on, and political parties are contesting municipalities even as we are here. So Floyd is taking another leaf. This is another page from Zuma's book. This is Zuma's invention, and Floyd is giving Zuma his own medicine. This is a cup of the Zuma medicine being given by Floyd Shivambu to Zuma himself.
How does he respond, Prof? Professor Matebesi, how does he respond? I see you are laughing there.
There's a huge difference between Jacob Zuma, even if he uses the same lessons. And I agree with Prof. Swana there, but the problem is you can't even want to start to equate Floyd Shivambu and Jacob Zuma. And that's why I strongly believe that MK party within the next 2 or 3 days will come out guns blazing and perhaps even sack Floyd Shivambu without following the disciplinary route.
If they do sack him, Professor Matebesi, what's likely to be the impact, if at all, within the party?
Oh, well, the impact is already, the damage has already been done. And one of the damages that we've seen, and it's public knowledge now, is that MK, for the very first time, it's one of the parties that have got rid of so many secretary generals. And I remember that is a very key position within a political party. And if you've got such a huge dent within that particular portfolio, that in itself tells you a lot about perhaps how this whole party is being managed and what we can expect going forward.
So, Mr. Swana, he says, right, that the ANC is directionless, calling the EFF a cult. And then he says that when it comes to the MK party, he respects the former president, but he says that he is surrounded by scoundrels who take advantage of his kindness and gullibility. Your take?
The argument is far-fetched. Floyd spent many years, 10 years, or something of the kind, let's put it like that, fighting the scoundrel called Jacob Zuma in parliament, paid back the money. And there were so many constitutional court cases and decisions against Jacob Zuma. Zuma was a scoundrel in parliament and in the cabinet. When the party was formed, a number of other scoundrels went there to join. People had been impeached, people were in legal problems, including Zuma himself. He's got pending legal cases. Both Zuma and Floyd Shivambu are implicated in the VPS saga as we speak today. Floyd says that the treasurers, national treasurers of MKP, have never resigned. Each one of them was fired unceremoniously, and money is being stolen all the time there, consistently every month. So the Floyd went there as a scoundrel. The founder of the party, Jacob Zuma, was a scoundrel, and it was a party of scoundrels. He has been there. He knew this before he joined. So this is actually disingenuous of Floyd to raise this. The issue of the cult, and he's actually talking about the personality of Julius Malema when he talks about the cult. The cult leader is Julius Malema, according to Floyd. Obviously, we don't know the ins and outs of the EFF, but I once listened to an interview by Dr. Ndlozi. And Ndlozi said, when we found this organization, when we founded it, we looked among ourselves and we felt that a person who was more like Steve Biko, a clear leader among us, was Julius Malema. And Floyd says he had another group that he met with and unanimously decided that this man is not fit to lead the party. So we will leave it to the public, and maybe other leaders will emerge with other truths as we go down the road. But at this stage, EFF is more stable than MKP.